Hello, welcome everybody to the next and last series in this series of webinars. I'm going to pass the ball over to Desi and we'll get started right away. Desi, have a wonderful presentation. I'll be here if you need me. Take it away.
Okay, we're taking our industry, our quantum industry, we're going a little bit of a different direction. We don't want to forget the medical, but we're going to try to make it a little more simple. You see, an all truth passes through 3 stages: being ridiculed, opposed, and then accepted as being self-evident. Now that's where we're finally getting into stage 3 now. Max Planck said that for a new idea to succeed, everybody with the old idea must die. Now I got a new direction for us, for our quantum industry. In the past, everybody would say, what do we do? Well, we measure the body electric and we fix it, but that didn't really speak to the actual concerns of the patient. I got a new direction for you now. Now we can say our device is proven, registered to make children and other people a bit smarter, stronger, a little more stamina. We're going to enhance their bodies, enhance their intellect and sports performance. This is going to take us out of really the medical realm. The medical examiners aren't going to be knocking on the door. It will reduce fear and yet dramatically increase your incomes, because this is what parents want. Every parent wants their child to have a better life than maybe they had in their past. And what does it do? The simple thing, we're going to make our children smarter, faster, stronger. I have an advertising campaign built around this. We're going to be using the quantum resonance biofeedback to do this. And yes, this works on your Skios and your Indigos, so all of you people can be on board. The Eductor does it better because it's greater technology. But we have found in our studies with the Skio and the Indigo, published in peer-reviewed journals, that we can get a 15–18% increase in math, insight, and intellect with the children. Like I've always said, atoms, our bodies are made of atoms. Atoms have electrons on the outside, and the electrons don't touch. In fact, there's really great distances between the electrons and between the atoms. You see, they never really touch, and they're held in place by energy forces, electromagnetic, static, and quantic energy. And everything that's chemistry is actually electrochemistry, because everything has the electrical aspect, because electrons are on the outer parts of the atom. And there's great distances, Becca said. And by volume, we are 99.999999999% energy. A small amount of protons, very small amount of electrons. We're mostly energy. 7 times 10 to the 20 is estimated as the number of grains of sand on the entire planet Earth. Times that, the number of grains of sand on the entire planet, by the number of visible stars in the sky, and what do we get? We get there is still more electrons in a human body. That's how complex we are. This should be teaching us respect for diversity, as in everybody's a little different, and even identical twins are not exactly the same. Even though they have exactly the same DNA, their fingerprints are different. Things are different. The body electric is electric, so even massage is electrotherapy. Virtually everything we do is electrotherapy. Now, what we've been doing is with the Skio, the Indigo, and now the Eductor, is we have a carbon band around the legs, etc. This carbon conductive electrode is such because carbon can take electrons with just the same amount of ease as it can give electrons. This allows us to measure the acid-alkaline environment of the body and to be able to correct it. This is because we have the carbon electrons. Now we have a new bit of technology, the cybermagnetic chair. You've probably seen some of the demonstrations. If you haven't, you can write to me and we'll get you some of the videos, the demonstrations. By using the microphone jack and the headphone jack of your computer, we're now going to be able to send music out into the magnetic chair, converted to music for the patient to hear, and magnetic impulse to magnetically enhance the waters of the body, because the waters of the body are magnetic. We're going to measure the magnetic reaction back to the computer and another cybermagnetic loop to go along with the cybernetic loop of the electrons that we have. So we've added a new dimension, exciting new dimension to what we're doing. And you can be able to get more information on the cybermagnetic chair. Because this shows that research is helping brain function, and dramatically now we can change DNA because we can open closed epigenetic genes with the magnetic and music vibrations. Very interesting. It can unlock the genes to maximize the factors of your life. Now, if we go back in history, narc is the Greek word for the electric ray. And the electric ray was put on people with headaches because they found that that electricity relieved the headache. When they had other different problems, this was the first form of anesthesia, etc. used, and that's where we get the word narcotic, is from narc. I think that's still interesting. It bears repeating 1,000 times. If you've watched this basic presentation, I'll try to alter it for you, but there's some things we have to cover over and over again. You can't just put your fingers into the wall socket, because there are surge protectors in the body that protect us from magnetic frequencies so that a lightning strike in a city doesn't kill everybody. Because if we didn't have these surge protectors, a magnetic pulse would. But now, because the body is protected, we have a different type of energy. Now, a couple of years back, a guy in England found out by putting a little bit of an electrical stimulation into the head, he was able to get people to do better math. This research is published in Psychology Today, for Insight, Scientific American, National Geographic, New Scientist, Lose Weight. Our studies have shown that we can help people to lose weight. NOVA has a study, transcranial electrical stimulation to influence and enhance cognitive function. Fibromyalgia, horsework with the adductor. Pain therapy and pain and anxiety in a dental practice with the technology. Phobia with the technology. Depression, schizophrenia with the technology. Depression, bladder treatment, Parkinson's disease improvements with the technology. Stroke victims being helped with the technology. National Post help with the technology. Incredible, fantastic research. Scientific American with the technology. Lucid dreaming, tinnitus, a host of different research being published on this. Electrochemistry. And we find that this effect can last up to 6 months after a couple of therapies. So not everybody needs to buy a device now to get your children smarter. We're going to need therapists. We're going to need therapists. Now I want to play a movie for you. Jake, I need your help to tell me whether this is working real well. We're going to play a little movie here that I recorded for you today. And this is going to show you some of the things about GSR and the type of work that we're doing and what's going on in the news around today. The International Medical University presents. Here's Through the Wormhole.
Carl is stopped.
That's the voice of Morgan Freeman, by the way. See, he can't solve the problem. Move one toothpick and make it real. Can you figure it out? Move
now
one toothpick.
Alan prepares to give him a jolt of inspiration.
Now, just with a little
This
bit
cat
of
sends a small positive electric current.
little
The technique
stimulation.
is called transcranial direct current stimulation, or TDCS.
Of course,
And it's designed to mimic the pattern of brain activity found in savants.
our technology
Okay, how
is
do you
much
feel
better.
now?
It's a little bit of tingling.
After stimulating with TDCS, Carl tries the matchstick problem again.
Very good, congratulations.
There you got
This
it.
is a case of mental fixation. We can't help but look at the world through the frames of what we already know. We see a filtered view of the world, not all the details. But Carl, after transcranial direct current stimulation, was able to see the solution.
Alan's creativity temporarily changed the way Carl's brain worked. It appeared to give him savant-like abilities.
And as we look at this incredible explosion of technology and the electronic stimulation of the human potential.
CBS. Let's see what CBS has
In
to
our
say.
morning round, Jumpstarting Your Mind, an experimental device for stimulating the brain is getting attention. Dr. Sari Lasanbi is director of the Brain Stimulation Division at Duke University School of Medicine. We're pleased to have her. She's also chairman of the Department of Psychiatry. Tell us what the principle is at stake here.
Well, this is TDCS, which stands for transcranial direct current stimulation, and the principle is we know that the brain operates on electricity. This is a brain stimulator which non-invasively uses weak electrical currents that literally come out of a battery that are modulated by this device, and you put it on the scalp, and it polarizes the brain, making brain areas charged and more closer to the threshold where you can bring them online or use them to do things like memory function or modulating a mood, for example.
Why do we need this type of electrical stimulation?
Well, we do have effective treatments in the field of psychiatry, but there's some things we still can't treat, such as treatment-resistant depression or autism. We need help in helping people recover function after stroke. And so we do need alternatives to medications and to psychotherapies. Using non-invasive brain stimulation, such as with devices like this, which are very safe, allows us to have new ways to modulate the brain. Well, this uses direct currents, which are different from other forms of brain stimulation. They polarize the brain. They don't stimulate the brain. So the safety profile is actually quite good.
We were interested in this story because people are going on the internet and they're creating these devices on their own and using them at home. Is that safe? Does it work?
Well, that is a concern, obviously. We're using these devices in controlled clinical trials, such as a trial we're doing right now in the treatment of depression, where we're doing it under medical supervision. It matters where you put the electrodes on the head, of course. So doing it at home is a concern, but there are places you can go on the internet that are advertising this type of technology to enhance normal function.
But is it risky?
There are risks, certainly, and so I would be concerned about that. Yeah.
Hi, welcome back to SourceFed. I'm Lee Newton.
Hi, I'm Elliot Morgan. Good news, Lee. I'm about to get even hotter. To you, that is. A crack team of researchers at the California Institute of Technology studying deep brain stimulation have found that electric currents make the brain cells more excitable, which in turn makes a whole lot of other things more excitable, if you catch my drift.
The study was conducted by administering 99 study participants with a transcranial direct current stimulation for 15 minutes. The participants got into an fMRI machine both before and after the brain shock and were shown faces. After the zapping, participants found the faces more attractive. This is mostly in part to the electric current stimulation of the midbrain, which is a source of dopamine that is associated with the rating of attractiveness.
TDCS is known to all of us attractive folk.
Nope.
Not kicking in yet, huh? Okay. TDCS has also been used in the past to improve a curious list of things, including making people better at arithmetic and, get this, video games.
Not even a little bit.
It's like a haircut does for nothing.
Amazing. Wanted to show you that. If you want to get a good copy of that video, please write to me. Electrical stim been helpful for spinal cord injury, help people to be able to move their toes. And even Bruce Lee used a type of electrostim. Yeah, seriously, yeah, Bruce Lee did it. Cranial work for autism is abounding. I talked to one of our therapists today in California who said that his work with autism was extremely successful. He had kids that couldn't even talk, and within a month of therapy, boom, they're back in school talking almost normal. And some of them even get normal. Wound healing, because if we pass electricity through normal tissue, from the head and the arm to the machine, we can see what comes back to the machine is a certain way when there's normal tissue, healthy tissue. When there's injured tissue, it comes back a little different. Then the machine can automatically apply an electrical current to help to stimulate healing of this tissue. This is electro wound healing, and our device is fully registered for this in Europe to be able to heal and promote healing. AC Milan, the football team, uses our device, and they've cut their injury rate down 91%. It helps by stimulating osmosis to bring in oxygen and nutrients, and to get rid of toxins by stimulating osmosis, as well as stimulating the actual membranes of the cells towards healing. In autistic children and with attention deficit, oftentimes their EEG is too slow. The adductor automatically speed it up. If their EEG is too fast, the adductor will slow it down. Ours is the system that actually measures these things. When we measure one of these brainwave forms, our device will correct it. And our device is the only one measuring, treating, repeating. Our device is the only one really doing this, registered to do this. The ultra-fast brainwaves of hyperactivity and the slow ones. But our device can measure this and alter this, because we are measuring, treating, repeating, using an autofocus loop, which we call the cybernetic feedback loop. In our studies of research and our published studies that we use to credential our device to get the CE mark in Europe, 93 people were measured, and we found no side effects whatsoever. Everybody had some stimulation, and we found that we could boost the intellect almost 20%. And 13 ADHD students were in the test. They were all bad students down at the C and D levels. After just 4 sessions, 9 of them became A students, 4 of them became B students. All of them stopped their ADHD problems. We found that we have extremely very good success with these people. Vagus nerve stimulation, laughter stimulation, even losing weight has been found experimentally to work with this. We find that the cells can have low voltage. The actual membrane of the cells, the electrical potential can be too low. This happens when people get too few electrons and they slip acid. 85% of our patients are too acid, and what they need is electrons to help to balance them. Our machine senses that they have low electrons, they have low voltage, and gives them electrons. If they have too many, they get too high a value, too many electrons, then they slip alkaline. Our device, because of the carbon electrodes, can actually measure whether they're acid or alkaline, because carbon can take or give electrons easily, just as easy. So then we can find out, but we found out that if you overcharge the battery, you can break the battery. So getting too much electricity is just as bad as getting too little. But what we want is we want balance at the right time. And our device, because it's auto-focused, it can tell when you're getting too much or too little, because we are measuring and we are treating. The autofocus cybernetic loop. Only the adductor, only the SCIO, the educator, the adductor, the indigo, we're the only ones validated and registered to really balance and measure that acid alkaline. When we get the electrical stimulation, all of the electrical functions of the nerves work better, synapses work better, the cells work better, thinking is improved. Your child's future can hinge sometimes just on 1 or 2 answers to a question on the SAT. We want to give our child an edge in the competition of life. You see, attention deficit children have less of a chance of employment. Here's a study. Rich kids have a better chance, but even they're negative. If we can get their attention deficit early and stop the medications, we can reverse this, get the kids into normal population, and help them to get normal lives and normal jobs. Our device has been registered in Europe for autism for years. This is an old advertisement that we've used for over 7 years. We've been working with super learning. This is an old advertisement, over 7 years old. We did our first super learning studies back in 1985. The scientific results are in all the different work that we've done, massive amounts of science, published all around the world, that the SCIO does work, sports studies, etc. It works with nutritional imbalances, injury and pain. Novak Djokovic helped to save his career. Lance Armstrong, Cleveland Browns, San Antonio Spurs, AC Milan, China. Everybody who's using the device gets positive results. This is a lot to say, and Carl Sagan says extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence. We agree. We started doing the evidence of the electrophysiology way back in 1973, and a host of studies have gone down, and we did some of the initial work back in the 80s at the AAQBT in New Mexico. There's me playing golf. And what we were able to show is after a couple of treatments, children with attention deficit could be made virtually normal, and with a couple more therapies even better. We can reverse their problems. If we get to the cause, the diet, the lifestyle, the other things, we can have even longer results. Here's a MRI showing that after 5 treatments with the adductor that we had changes in the brain. Here's a list of the conditions helped with our device. Attention deficit is just one of the best. A host of different research published everywhere. Getting the attention deficit, improved focus, self-control, reaction time, their consistency. Here's one of the books that I've written about 10 years ago, showing the research, showing all the different techniques to help with autism and ADHD. And here's the new book showing how to use the EEG with the adductor to get even more positive results. The adductor's ability to do brainwave is far in excess of the SCIO. And it has phenomenal results, and we're seeing great results. One of our doctors in Germany thinks that we can cure attention deficit problems, and that we can cure more than 80% of the autism cases. This is the kind of work we do at the International Medical University. We do education, and we also have a license department. And we believe very strongly in evidence-based validation verification. Put our money where our mouth is and do the studies to validate what we do, because this is what we have to do today. Validation of your claims is the law. Attention deficit in our studies, they all get improved. And we have one more thing. It isn't just an autofocus loop. We encourage a monitored GSR therapist. We want to have a therapist, and we want to get a licensed biofeedback therapist into the loop to be able to do this work and be able to provide extra safety, just in case there's a vasovagal syncope or other things. We want to have our people fully trained, not just ludicrously trained, but really fully trained, because the states are going to start to do some type of license in biofeedback. So I think that we need, as an industry, we need to recognize that the license that we have works, and if we're going to make these kind of claims, we want to make sure that we're providing safety, and we want to really get people together. Even the smart kids can be improved. We get results with all these different types and even more. But now that we go into enhancing learning and sport performance, we're not talking about a medical claim. We're reaching to a different office. We're a different type of people. We're reaching to a different type of strata. We're starting to say, listen, we can help increase learning and sports performance. So it's a little different. And now, quantum super learning enhancement therapist. This is a new word that I came up with. And we saw in that video that can even enhance beauty and the perception of beauty. So what about this, guys? Quantum super learning enhancement technicians. Even take the therapist out of it, put in technician. Because this is going to be one of the jobs of the future, undeniably. Who does not want their children to be a little smarter, a little faster, a little stronger? Like I say, like we saw in the video, California Institute of Technology, people zapped with CES found other people more attractive. It actually affected beauty and beauty perception. And when we balance the body electric, we can increase health and beauty. And we want to give our children a head start. Now at Whoopers, I work with Whoopers. It's a group of lawyers, scientists, and doctors in Germany who have the World Health Product Rating Service to rate validation of devices that are making claims. Are their claims valid? And Whoopers, and here's the connection to it, if you want to write that down, because if you have a device that you want to compare, you can go to Whoopers and get a real honest validation analysis as to whether their claims that they're making are really valid. Are they registered? Have they done science? What is the legality of using such a device? Is it taught in universities? Is there peer-reviewed studies? Are there double-blind studies? All of these things that the professionals at Whoopers look into to be able to help you. So that you can see that there are certain devices that they claim that they can measure liver function and adrenal function, etc. But there's absolutely no explanation of how they do that. No validation or verification of their claims. You have to watch out for biofeedback devices that really don't do biofeedback. Devices that pretend to do biofeedback but really don't, because those are going to get into more and more trouble as years go by. With the educator, with the eductor, with the skio, with the indigo, we get the rating of 11, the highest rating, jump-starting the brain. Now we saw about doing this at home. On the internet, you see that there are people teaching you how to do this, but believe me, it is not safe. You can overcharge the brain. You can create a problem. So I don't recommend that you do this at home. We're trying to create an industry a little different. Here's the focus device. It gets a 4 because they do have some science, but they have no medical registration, no safety studies. And they claim that it helps you with gaming. Intellect is what they kind of hint at. Our device is fully rated for this, for school learning enhancement, and for sport performance enhancement, where our actual double-blind, peer-reviewed medical supervised studies show an increase in strength, stamina, eye-hand coordination. Your kids are a little bit better. Now, the big question in our society today, medication or biofeedback. You see, drugs, they all have side effects. They all get dependency. That dependency can build to addiction in many cases. Whereas biofeedback has no side effects. Complete responsibility training. Not dependent. Safe and effective. What's best for you? And today, in today's world, you have the freedom to choose. There are the people in the drug companies who are trying to take away that freedom. We have to fight for that freedom. But today, you have the freedom to choose. $9 billion was spent by Americans in the last year on attention deficit drugs. $20 billion on the side effects. All of these drugs have side effects, including cause killing spree. That has to be written on their side effects now, because these things interfere with the serotonin in the body. and they can create problems. And the reason your child is attention deficit or hyperactive is not because they're drug deficient. There's other reasons for that. We need to get to the cause and help the body electric to get balanced, and that's the solution now for the future. Today's people everywhere want drug-free therapies. This is building and building through more and more people are becoming chemophobic. Synthetics make side effects, and the future is a growing awareness and respect for the natural ways of healthcare. Smoking blocks oxygen, thus it reduces memory and intellect, and can make children less intelligent. And we have to be able to fight against the peer pressure and make sure that our children are not smoking, not eating too much fast food, because that can help make children stupid as well. And now science has shown that caffeine in certain soft drinks contributes to making children stupid. Caffeine has some positive effects, cup of coffee, and some negative effects. Whereas with the GSRtDCs, we get the positive effects with no negative effects, no side effects. The children's future depends on school and high school performance. And with a little boost, it will increase their performance, get into a better school, a better job, by activating the synapses in the body through stimulation. It can actually help the brain intellect to grow. We have to talk about some of the diet tips, what not to eat, what to eat that contributes it. And we talk about these things on Ask. What I'm going to be asking you people to do is to be able to go to the internet at this site and be able to take your people and your friends and relatives to be able to go into these different areas and look at the different lists and the PDFs that are here, because we have an entire system dedicated to helping your children become smarter. A system analyzing all the different things, what to do, what not to do, and how the electrical impulse training of our SCIOs, our indigos, our eductors can increase their student level, their scholastic and their school and their sport performance. Exciting work. Now, why not get an immune license? When are you people going to wake up? I am the one person who has built this technology, fostered this technology, the genius of all the work, 300 textbooks, and it's a complete medical course on everything drug-free, and I've never lied to anybody about anything. And you people still don't want to get behind the immune and the immune license. What can I do to help you? You see, you can get an international license, and it can guarantee grandfathering into your state when your state passes licensing in the future. Now, we're going to put names onto that website, but we're only going to put names of licensed therapists that we know are going to be doing correct work. You can get grandfathered in very quickly and very easily now, and you'll get a year to pass that test. But there's still a couple of questions we need to know, because we don't want complete bozos doing this work. We want to establish this as a quality industry, this quantum. In New York State in 2011, they started this bill to have a biofeedback license. It still isn't passed, but it's close. It's pending. They define biofeedback, and they also define grandfathering in. If you have a license, if you have an international license, because biofeedback is unregulated at this point in time, there is no regulation so that you can completely use an international license, put it on the wall to show people that a third-party medical university, an international medical university, has vouched for your education and your experience. That's important to put on the wall to help protect you. And there's nothing stopping you from having an international license. And when it comes along that the state of New York or whatever state that you're in decides to make a license, you will be guaranteed grandfathering privileges. And you'll have a test that you will already be familiar with, because our test is going to be even more difficult than their test, but basically very, very similar to their test. And we're going to be able to help you to become an international licensed biofeedback therapist. And you could get this certificate, you could get this handy little credit card, carry in your wallet. And why do therapists in this industry not have a license? Well, because of would've, should've, could've, poverty mentality, tomorrow's a better day. 6 signs that your kid needs GSRtDCs: short attention span, inability to focus, doesn't want to talk about school, too needy, moody, increased aggression, distant or depressed. And the reason that adults might need this is because they are too stupid to get a license. They're filled with would've, should've, could've. There's no reason for it. Your excuses are over now. We're going to take this industry further, and you could join in or you could be left behind, depending on the whether you have a poverty mentality or a prosperity mentality. You see, a child comes back, sometimes you can't tell how hard school was. Sometimes he just can't even talk to you about not being able to pay attention. I want to come up with an idea that if it's $200 for a session, 5 sessions, $1,000, and that $200 should be a fixed price. And if they can't pay it, you can let them pay part in karma. Now, why not have a school special where they can pay $600 and then the rest of it in karma? Maybe $650, $700. Let's get behind this as an industry so that we can help. But this is the type of advertisement that I've been building for you. I put onto that internet site to help get your people to be able to see. This is the type of poster that you could pass on to your people and allow them to get to that website to learn more. You see, because it's not a medical claim now, so it's going to be, you're not have to worry about people knocking on the door from the medical examiner's department. You're going to be providing a service that is guaranteed, a service registered in America as safe and effective. You're going to be doing it professionally, and we still ask for you to follow the rules and to learn the different things to say or not say. But it's going to be much, much safer at being quantum super learning enhancement technicians. And it even helps the older folks for the aged brains. It does enhance, and by taking people to this website, what you're going to be doing is making it safe for you, much, much safer for you to be able to do. So certain claims that here are made in Europe and are completely registered in Europe, you can take people to the European website to show them this. You can take them to the hormone streaming site to show how Matt Mendenhall, Andre, other world champions are using the device to help enhance their bodybuilding, help enhance motivation. And we've done a survey, done a small survey, to show that people do believe in the body electric. They believe that the body electric can be enhanced, and they would gladly pay for their children to get this. Why not? Because it's going to enhance their child. There is no risk. Everybody gets some results, and some people get a lot of results. Now, would they actually pay that money for themselves? Well, most people would say yes. They would rather see their children succeed than them. But not everybody feels that way. Some people would get it. And yes, it does work for your skios and indigos. Get on board, get with the program. 7 billion people in the world today, over. 6 billion people need quantum super learning enhancement. And 3 billion people can afford it. Believe me, The parents of their children want their children to succeed. 6 billion people need it. 3 billion people can afford it. Just think in your local area. Deep inside, you know that you need to help your children maximize their learning skills. You can become a qualified therapist. You can get a doctorate, diploma. You can go to the QX website, sign up on the, you can go onto the QX website, sign up to the newsletter. And here's how to get grandfathered in if you have some type of certification. Go to immune.net. Let's go take a look at it. As you go to immune.net, you sign up here. Once you sign up, you can come here, make an application, tell us about your resume so that we can see to determine that you have some experience so that we can get you grandfathered in on a provisional 1-year grandfathering. You can then get down here to the grandfathering the license. We have all the other things. You could get into the exams of the class of the GSR, become a mentor. Now tomorrow, Jake and I are going to be doing a course on the GSRtDCs unit, how to do this super learning treatment. You can go now to this website of Immune, and you can learn about all the different things that are going on and how to make your students and yourself and your lives better. And George Carlin told us that rights aren't rights if someone can take them away. See, they're privileges. And that's what we've had in this country, is a bill of temporary privileges. If you read the news, you're going to see that that list is getting shorter and shorter. We have to fight for the freedom to be able to say, broccoli cures cancer, George. Einstein tells us keep it simple. Carl Sagan tells us extraordinary claims, the extraordinary evidence. At Immune, we're dedicated to evidence-based education. And Carl Jung, the father of Immune, told us, who looks outside dreams and who looks inside awakens. All these different things. And if you go into the Immune website, you can get grandfathered in, and you can take the GSR so that you could be onto the website under the list of licensed therapists and help to direct people to be able to come and see you for therapy. It's simple and easy. And what you can do is if you don't have all the money to pay for all these things, you can line up on PayPal to make payments. There's really no reason to stop. You can get online to get some of the little trinkets from Immune to put into your office. Here's the new certificate for the GSR with the Fathers of Immune, the intellectual Fathers of Immune. You can get one of these medals if you wish to. If you become a GSR therapist, you can buy one of these medals to hang on your wall. You could even get a couple medals in electrotherapy and other different things, and be able to get a plaque to hold your medals on the wall from Immune. Honorary Immune Support Awards, Fellowship Awards. All of this is outlined in Immune. Now, there's many, many diseases in the world today headed with cardiovascular, diabetes, cancer, clogged arteries, autism, hypoadrenia. And the reason for them is an industry of tobacco, sugar, bad cooking styles, synthetic chemicals, stress, and toxicity. At Immune, we are not just dedicated to evidence, we're also fully dedicated to making sure that people understand the causes of disease, and hence the need for our SOC. And why can't we see the power of a professional education? Immune was started in 1996, and just why is this industry not really behind it? There was an awful lot of slandering going on, an awful lot of lies. And I think it's time for us to get to the truth and just show you that you can learn and you can get an international license from Immune and be proud to have it on the wall, like Bill Cunningham has, one of our most successful practitioners. Natural beauty needs nature. Everybody's realizing this now. At Immune, you teach yourself medicine, and I train your mind and your spirit. I want to make sure that that I train your soul to heal, not just that you learn things, but you become a healer as well. Now, the future, there's going to be new jobs. VHS repairman's kind of out. Typewriter salesman, no. Switchboard operator, not much future. Milkman. Epidemiologists, you see, because people are going to want to track down the causes of disease and problems. This is a major area of a job. Virtual reality education. That's what our focus is now, to help people get into virtual reality education. Organic foods is going to be a giant industry. Fear of chemicals is rampant. And the GSRtDCs super learning technicians. This is going to be a new form of a new job that's going to be sweeping the nation. In the future, every company is going to have a group of these technicians, a group of these quantum super learning enhancement technicians that are going to be able to keep their executives sharp and sexy and keen and rich in insight. This is going to be explosive. You people can now join in, become salesmen, become technicians, become therapists, and most of you people already have a foot in the door. And what stops you? Poverty mentality. Some of the jobs of the future. And believe me, organic foods, natural medicine is going to be a job of the future. People are really more and more afraid of those chemicals. Everybody knows that all of those chemicals have side effects, and some of those side effects are deadly. And quantum super learning enhancement technician will be a job of the future. It helps to make your child's future bright, and it's going to be a big job for people to be able to supply this. Quantum super learning enhancement technicians. Looks like something else has been enhanced in that photo. Somebody's using the breast enhancement, by the way. And believe me, this is going to be another big job in the future, selling this technology. Because, like I said, there's 3 billion people who want and can afford this therapy. Who would not want this for their children? Who doesn't want drug-free responsibility biofeedback rather than going to the doctor to get burnt, cut, stabbed, and drugged? Everybody's going to be looking into this. Now, we understand that it's not for everybody. Certain people are going to want to take their drugs, etc. That's their business. We want freedom of choice, but more and more people want to see drug-free choices. Biofeedback, responsibility training. Do you have poverty mentality? Are you already convinced that you can't? Are you already convinced? I was talking to somebody the other day and said that rich people don't have kids. The only people in America who could afford this is the 1% at the top. Believe me, somebody making $50,000 a year can afford to have this done for his children. And believe me, they'll probably want it more than the rich folks because they'll see the value. And you have to change your mind to prosperity mentality. And I help to do it through perseverance, positivity, patience, and precision in my own life. I think so much of this, perseverance, positivity, patience, and precision. I named my children Daniel Perseverance Nelson, Kara Bliss. They wouldn't let me name her positivity, so I had a different word. His name is Sterling Precision, and Destiny Patience. I named my children after this concept because this is what people really need to succeed in life. You see, God wants you to have abundance. God doesn't want you to be poor. If you are correct, compassionate, consciousness, and help others, God wants you to have abundance. But abundance does not always mean just money. There's other ways of being abundant. Helping others, having honest, earnest compassion to share and care. It's more than, and you do these things. Many people have gotten these type of therapies and gotten our device because they want to help people, not just themselves. And the abundance will come and flow. And God will take care if you can find the correct way of mind. At the ask site, we recognize that in the Bible it says, ask and God will reveal unto you. And I try to help. I'm one of God's angels. I try to help. And if you write to us, I will dig for answers for you. Seek and you will find. A negative mind will never give you a positive life. If you're tied up in negativity, you're not going to succeed. You see, people have been using our systems and they get spontaneous remission. No, it's energetic medicine. Most of the spontaneous remissions have come from people who have learned new diets, what to avoid, what to eat, used energetic medicine, yoga, and then all of a sudden they get spontaneous remission. Our system is depending on the quantum quality control, QQC, which is an electronic tongue. I'll be doing more lectures about that. I just wanted to have a slide in here just to introduce a little bit of the technology. This is why our device is superior. We have an electronic tongue that measures items, feeds that to the body to get reaction. And this technology is only with our company. It's licensed to the Indigo, the Skio, the Educator, the Eductor. The Eductor has now been found to be able, with the second and third waveform generator, to do electro-transcendental meditation even faster. People have been using it and calling us up and telling us fantastic results that usually take years of meditation are taking just a couple of weeks with this device that helps guide them into it. And you see, with the third waveform generator, the energy and the type of how it comes into the body. The Educator has been proven and validated. The Eductor has been proven and validated to enhance your children's intellect and insight. This is the new way that I'm asking you people to go now. Get people to come to this website, you to go to this website, and get people to become excited to see you as therapist. But we're not going to put your name on that website unless you become licensed, unless you take the course, and you can make payments on that course. But if you're still mired in negativity, if you're still, your heart is cold, then I don't know how else to help you. But I know that there are people who want to be helped. And you see, Immune is there to stand and protect alternative medicine, protect natural medicine. And when the small minds attack us, Immune and me, I stand on the bridge and say, you will not pass. Let's all get behind this now. Let's realize that as we're interfacing with the body electric, we're improving intellect in sports. And let's reconnect back with the source code, as Jake says, so that people can really get back to understanding who we are, what we are, where the technology comes from. If you have real honest questions, medicine questions, legal questions, we have a group of trained professionals to dig to give you the right answers to those questions. And you should support us with it. And you can support us by joining Immune. It's time for our industry to get together. It's time for us to move past all the crap of the past and to take advantage of this new opportunity. We have the technology that the world wants now. You see, we have the GSRtDCs. It's proven safe. It's registered in America to be done. All of the claims are registered in Europe to be done successfully. And there's hundreds of articles proving this. We've dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's to give you this technology. And now it is much more simple and easy to use with the GSR. Very simple to use with the follow-up visits. You don't have to do all of the zeroids and etc. with this. I'll be teaching that on our class tomorrow. The surveys told us people are interested. We know that there are people want their learning and sports performance enhanced. Which person doesn't want to throw the ball a little further? Come on now, which person doesn't want to have a little more insight, a little more intellect? And believe me, this is a viable commodity. People will afford it. We just have to market it to them, and we have to tell them. You can get grandfathered in easy. Write to us. Go on to Ask and get on there. And if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. As you think you are. This isn't for everybody. I know that we've all been to those seminars and we've seen people that we thought, oh my God, how could they ever see a patient? Sometimes those people will surprise you, by the way. But with a little bit of effort, I now have a system that has been a little bit more safe, simple claims of that we are helping the intellect, helping the body. So why don't we just get behind this and do it a little bit better, a little bit easier? Taking care of ourselves and taking care of our patients and our children. And yes, Mommy and Daddy, you can help control the attention span and help your children get better grades. We are here to help you at Ask. We are here to help you at Immune. Ask and it will be revealed unto you. All truth passes through 3 stages: ridiculed, violently opposed. And now, with the incredible, extensive, expansive, thousands of research articles on the same therapy that we've been doing now for over 25 years, it's here, and it's time for us to accept, as the world has accepted of what we are doing is now self-evident. Let's go with a different direction with our quantum industry. Let's take this to the kids, make them smarter and stronger. And yes, indeed, your skios and indigos do it. So let's get all together. Okay, Jake, are you there?
I am here, Desi. Thank you so much. And I'll be sending out to everybody an invitation to register for tomorrow's webinar. I'll do that within the next hour. And I just thank everybody for joining us today. Thank you, Desi, for having the information together for us to move forward.
How many people did we have?
Oh, well, we're still live, so throughout the last 4, right now there's, and Desi, if you want to go to the questions, open up your webinar jam.
The questions now. I'm looking at the questions now, and I see Patty's asked a question about the Ebola virus. That's in our new software. Patty, I went into a little bit more detail in some different directions. It is basically a repeat of yesterday, but as Jake told me, we only had 5 or 6 people on yesterday. And this is so exciting, this new direction, Patty. I really wanted to make sure we went this way. The Ebola virus, I have a little video on that. But basically, I just tell you, in the new software, we have in the Zap button for that. I talked about that last week. If there's any more distinct questions, I can get to that. I don't see any more questions other than that on.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you, Desi. Thanks for everyone for joining us, and you'll be hearing from me shortly here.
Catch you later.
Awesome. Thanks, Desi. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.